disapprove of punks for progress, and I don't endorse the people's history of America.
There it is. Wait, one more time. One more time, because this is a. Can I say before you play it though, Hunter? I can't believe that you found that soundbite. It's so important though, because
Yeah, it's so important.
it's really an urgent warning that you really should not pay attention to us, and don't ever watch the People's History of America, because what did Ben Shapiro say?
He said,
I, as Ben Shapiro, disapprove of punks for progress, and I don't endorse the people's history of America.
What the fuck?
And I'd like to dedicate this one to Punks for Progress. Punks for Progress.
This is for the comrades of Punks for Progress.
Punks for progress, never anarchy. Fight for your liberty. We don't want your government. We don't need your services. I'm an anarchist. I'm an anarchist.
Punks for Progress on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks, brother.
That sounds right up my alley.
It's always a good day when you hear a punk say the word righteous.
Hey fam, welcome back. This is Punks for Progress, What the Fuck Report. I'm Reverend Aaron. And as promised, I have waiting on the line various members of the P4P Fam from all over the fucking country and shit. But I should let you know first that we are listening to this record. This is called Punk Legends. The American Roots. It's a double album. This side has Wayne County, Iggy and the Stooges, MC5, New York Dolls, the Ramones, Perry Ubu. And the other side of the first album has Suicide, Richard Health, Dead Boys, Iggy and the Stooges, Flaming Groovies, and Wayne County. And this is what we're going to be listening to while we hang out and we discuss who knows what and make mockeries of shithead fucking right-wingers. But let me get over here. Is this where it's at? Is this where I have... No, it's not. I believe they're over here. Oh, shit! Hunter! Sister, what is happening? Welcome. Everybody, please make noise. Say hello.
yeah. Oh. Hi.
Let's do this first. I'll put this up so that everybody can kind of see who's here. We've got Rob and Drew from Indiana. P4P Indiana, Critical Thought Critique. We have Hunter Red Black from P4P West Virginia and also lives in states by the same name. And of course, Rad Khan is here with us. So I'm going to switch this now. I had it set in the mode where like you can see everyone, but now it'll be voice dominant, right? Whoever's talking will be featured.
All right.
Welcome, fam. So I played for our followers some snippets and segments of the People's History of America that I've been working on. So I want to talk about that with you guys a little bit. But first, Hunter has this thing where we can make Ben Shapiro say stuff. Is
You want to hear what I have right now?
yeah.
Do it.
Wait.
Ben Shapiro's tourism in America.
Wait, what? Do it again?
Do it again?
Yeah, play it again.
Ben Shapiro supports terrorism in America.
Ben Shapiro supports terrorism in America. Excellent.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
It's true.
Yeah, you're first.
How is everybody? You know what? Let's
Sounds altered from the Ben Shapiro clip we heard before. What are you making him look better than he is, Hunter?
I'm trying my best here. It works better with longer sentences.
Anyway.
So Rob and Drew, P4P Indiana. What is new, comrades? Say words at me. What's new in the struggle in Indiana? First of all, before you do, Rob, can you move to your right? Oh, yeah, move to your right just a skosh. Because that's this fucking dope as fuck t-shirt I'm looking at right there. And
This beautiful shirt here. I have another white on black.
move that to your right a little bit. There you go. So people can get these, right? If by donating to P4P's Indiana's Critical Thought Critique, right?
Yes.
So explain all that, if you will.
You have a GoFundMe that you can access from our blog on Blogspot, or there's a link to it on our YouTube channel as well. And if you let's see, what is it? $25. Yeah, if you donate $25 to our cause, you get one of your own choice of the white on black or the red or the black on red.
So those are the two combinations you guys have available right now.
Yeah, we actually press them ourselves. So hand pressed. Yeah, hand pressed.
Hell yeah.
No grown.
There's still as DIY as you can get t-shirts made anymore.
That's right, DIY. But so, ultimately, you look for us on GoFundMe under Critical Thought Critique, and donate, and you get a shirt. It supports P4P Indiana and P4P in general.
Fantastic.
Hell
So
yeah.
talk to us about then what P4P Indiana and Critical Thought Critique kind of does. Like, what are people donating to? Because let me just say this before you do describe. I wholeheartedly, not just because the shirts are cool and they have like our logo on them, I genuinely wholeheartedly believe that donating to this cause is well worth the effort if you are able to do so. And so tell people what y'all get up to.
Gee, thanks. So for about a year and a half, 2 years, we've been going out and recording actions and rallies and protests that take place in Indianapolis, Indiana. We have not yet put up a video but we're working on a video for. Is it Trajan?
Oh, the Dorian Morel story. It's
Right.
this whole thing. There's a coalition of people, let's just say, that believe that there's been a police cover-up involved in the shooting of Dorian Morel, and we've got a video coming up about that. But we try to provide this sort of media coverage that the local corporate media doesn't usually provide. These sort of things.
Yeah, and
Oh yeah, especially the all cops are bastards part, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's right.
So, but other than that, we've also covered we have a video of just this local man who goes out and feeds hungry people, the homeless and stuff. So
Sure.
it's not all anti-establishment stuff. It's
mostly.
But yeah, it is mostly. But it's also pro DIY, grassroots level activism that you can, do by yourself. We're looking for the good stories where community works with community. It's a we situation with everything. We live in a we society, and we're absolutely anti, it's all about the individual. You can't do much by yourself in this country, but together we all can.
Are you saying people should either join an anti-capitalist organization or organize with other like-minded anti-capitalists?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's for everything,
Pretty much.
from feeding the homeless to housing the homeless, from slowly or quickly destroying capitalism. We live in a society where, right now there's a depression, a pandemic, not to mention, natural disasters happening. And, nobody can go at it alone. We need, start standing together, working together, organizing together to, start taking care of some of these issues that are, just horrible. We shouldn't have in a country that is one of the richest in the world, if not the richest, or has the richest man in the world, I see no reason to have one homeless person. Not one.
Word. Not
one child.
Wait, when you said this was, did you say it was a we society? Because I thought you said weed.
That's the next fight.
The weed society.
Hey, Rad, is it at all possible to turn your audio up a little bit? Can you turn your mic up possibly somehow? You're a little quieter than everybody else.
I have no idea how to do that because I'm on my phone. Is that better? I put my phone closer to my face.
When it's closer to your face, you can hear you, but then we're a lot closer to your face. So that's kind of a trade-off.
It's one or the other.
I wanted to say something.
We can hear you. It's just you're clearly a little quieter.
It might just be like my ears being weird, but like when Aaron talks, sometimes it sounds like rickety, like it kind of echoes.
Yeah.
That's probably happening within the call, but it's not showing up in what I'm recording. At least I hope it's not, because in the audio check samples we did before, it didn't.
Yeah.
So you guys might hear a little echo from me, but that's kind of your problem.
That's a you issue.
That's a you issue.
That sounds like a you problem.
But hey, let's hey Hunter, I want to hang out with Hunter. Hunter, what's new in West Virginia and P4P West Virginia land and your world and
my world?
Yeah, what's on
just
your
what's on my plate?
Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting for a call from an endocrinologist this week, so that's going to be a fun wait.
Well, let's talk about that. What if you're comfortable talking about it?
What are you, my
I'm okay
freaking
with it.
psychologist?
So let's talk about the process. You're Hunter. You're transitioning. Is this a fair word to use?
Yeah, I guess it's a fair word to use.
So get us up to speed and how it's relevant to an endocrinologist. Because I think a lot of
All
people
right,
don't understand
so
the relevance of a lot of these steps that you're going through.
So, in order to, well, first off, West Virginia is not really an informed consent state, so you have to go through a big process with like a therapist
Yep.
and like a psychologist and stuff and all that jazz to make sure you're actually, trans enough, I guess. I mean, like, it's a pretty shitty way to go about it, but that's how you have to.
Can I interrupt real quick just to say that how fucking gross it is you have to go through a process to
Yeah, it kind of is
prove
gross.
that you are trans enough to be who the fuck you are?
Yeah.
Fuck on
But
that.
I'm lucky I got a good therapist who is specialized in trans people.
Oh, fantastic.
So I got a referral letter on my first day of therapy, which was really exciting news for me because I thought I would have to wait years.
Yeah.
Which some people do,
Right.
but I'm just lucky I didn't. And so now I had to fill out paperwork to be referred to an endocrinologist. And what an endocrinologist does is they specialize in like hormones and blood and stuff.
Yep.
So I have to go in there and then I'll have to do like blood tests and stuff to make sure I'm good enough to get hormones.
Right, because there could also sometimes even be like health complications for.
Yeah, but me, like, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty healthy.
Well,
So
right.
I'm good.
But it's also like, some people will use that to make the argument and be like, well, you have to take the hormones, otherwise you're not trans. No, that's bullshit.
Yeah, that's
Like, some people
that's
think,
also a
that's
shitty way of
debatable as
thinking.
bullshit.
Like, some people don't have to get hormones to transition.
No.
But for me, for me though, for like my personal reasons, it would feel a lot better if I did.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can, you should. But if you don't, it doesn't mean you're not trans, is what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
Right?
Rad is right.
Thank you, Rad.
Even if you don't get hormones or transition like sexually with your genitalia, you're still trans.
Wait a second,
Yeah,
Hunter.
you don't have to
if I might,
you don't have to be diagnosed with gender dysphoria to be trans either.
Yeah.
So
It's all.
this has got me going down a different rabbit hole when I hear you say that, comrade, because my understanding is, according to, there's this orange fascist motherfucker who's letting me know that if you don't test people, then there's no COVID. So I'm thinking that whether or not you get the hormone test means you're not trans. That means that if people don't get tested for COVID, they might still have it. And so it kind of doesn't matter whether we test people or sign papers for things or not, who they are, what they are. I mean, not, like,
No.
reality still exists either way.
That's how the numbers go down. That's what you do. You test less people, the numbers go down. See? They went down.
And I should actually stop. As much fun as I just had making that joke, I really want to make abundantly clear that I'm not trying to fucking make an analogy or comparison between COVID and being trans.
But those people fucking would find a way somehow, though.
Can you accept my most sincerest apology on that really thoughtless comparison, Hunter?
Yeah, sorry.
I guess you lost me, like, with the first line. I was lost.
Okay, good.
More weird than anything, right?
So, hey, well, Hunter, thank you so much for sharing the process that you're going through. And, like, I don't envy you having to wait for some other person to determine whether you are what you are or not.
Yeah.
But I respect you for putting one foot in front of the other and going through that process, regardless of how hard it might be. I think you're a fucking badass,
Yes,
Hunter.
Rob,
And,
what's your question?
did Rod have a question?
I just raised my hand real quick. I'm in total agreement with you, but I would like to also add that it should be totally free.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it should be
definitely.
I think we can all agree on that.
It should be free. I'm just lucky that, like, I'm privileged enough to have 2 insurances.
Right.
So in case one insurance doesn't work out, I get the other.
That's good.
Yeah,
Both
that's
given
all.
they're both shitty insurances, but, like,
Yeah, but you got 2, I got 0.
yeah.
Yeah. What can you do?
Well, so Rad Khan
Yeah.
over here. Comrade, what is new with you? Talk to me.
Well, we can finally kind of breathe again out here in the West Coast. Well, in only small pockets of it you can. I happen to be in one of them. There's still toxic smoke kind of everywhere. I think Oregon is still hazardous right now, but there's places like kind of all over the Bay and Northern California and probably even like down south that you still can't breathe. And the problem is you're supposed to be wearing N95 masks, but you're supposed to also reserve all of those for the medical health professionals. So it was like a good 2 or 3 weeks at least, and up until now, of pretty much the entire West Coast just constantly breathing toxic smoke. By, of course, the fires that have been going on everywhere, and also in the middle of COVID. Maybe the fires had something to do with like the new cases per day going down a little bit. But yeah, there's that. And then I haven't heard much as far as like live actions that went on. Like they did go on, but not like big like the ones in the rest of the country. As far as the recent police murder cases. But now that things have cleared up a little bit, it might change. I heard something about an action this weekend because of the recent ICE developments. But other than that, that's it.
So
Why
have
don't
you
we
and your
talk
comrades?
about how the fire started?
One at a time, please. Sorry, what?
Hunter, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go
I was
ahead.
about to say, why did the fire start, Rad? Why don't you tell us this?
Apparently,
Because obviously it was news.
Apparently the Antifa super soldiers were like setting their cans of soup on fire and they were exploding and just beans were flying everywhere and shit.
Most people don't know. Can I just say really quickly? Most people don't
Right.
know that soup cans are highly flammable. If you
No, they are.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever thrown a big can of beans into like a campfire?
No, I have
Oh,
not
it just
ever
fucking
thrown a
explodes
can
because
of
it's
beans into a
It's like
campfire.
It's gas. It's beans. And it's a can, like pressurized can. It just fucking explodes.
Combustible is the word.
I was about to say, like the fire was started obviously by like that gender reveal party.
Oh
Okay, so let's talk about that. Hold on. Stop. I want to talk about that real quick.
Fires at once.
Yeah, that's one of 100. Yeah.
Let's talk, like, just the privilege attached to that. Just the total disconnect from what's going on all over the country and all over the world in this moment. That.
Oh, let's blow some shit up and set the woods on fire, because
it's a boy, you know, like
it's a boy, it's blue.
I mean, like, personally, as like a trans people, like as a trans person, I meant to say, I don't necessarily agree with gender reveals because it's kind of harmful because you're assigning something to like a child based on their genitalia,
right?
Can I be honest? The whole notion of a gender reveal sounds like something an adult person does when they come to grips with who they are as a person. That sounds, and like, which I would celebrate. Yeah. But even a trans issue aside, like, a gender reveal party, it's just so self-obsessed. It's like, okay, and then we're gonna have a party for the color we paint the bedroom, and then we're gonna have a party for the first poopy, and then we're gonna have a party and a celebration for the first tooth, and then we're gonna have a party and celebration for the first time the kid tells you, dude, fuck off, you bourgeois piece of shit, mom. Fuck you. Me and my friends, we're building this goddamn fucking guillotine, and we're coming for you and your fucking boss. What now, mom? What now?
Whack it with a skateboard.
Fuck all.
Hey, I'm all for a guillotine reveal party.
A guillotine reveal party.
Right now.
That's some proper shit, yo. A guillotine reveal party. Hashtag that, meme it. It's product. It exists now.
Hashtag guillotines are gender neutral.
They are gender neutral. Hell yeah, man.
That's awesome. Yes.
All inclusive.
They what?
They only cut off penises and testicles. And heads. But multiple kinds of heads.
So, can I just point out, there was something that I came across my radar earlier today, fam, of, you guys saw it, I put it in the chat. I'll pop up the image in post edit. But it was the One America News Network doing the story about how fucking George Soros. Okay, look.
They're saying Soros.
No, hold on, Rad. Hold on. We gotta set this up right. Comrade.
What did I
we
say?
all know that George Soros is slow on getting us the checks, right?
Right. Where's mine?
I still haven't gotten one. I don't know that anyone here has gotten one. I've gotten a lot of emails explaining why it hasn't come yet. But I think I know why we're not getting the checks. He's distracted. The great one, the Soros, is too busy influencing the Antifas over at Fox News.
I thought you were gonna say that since we run the secretary's office for Antifa, known as Antifa United, people are asking for their checks and we're not getting back fast enough.
No, it's a headline from One American News Network. Actually, let me look at it. It's in here. Let me look at it real quick. I'll find it.
Give us an excerpt.
Antifa Marxist Soros-funded Fox.
Okay, so Tone Singh says George Soros' influence and power is pervasive at Fox. Let me see. If I put this up here, will it show it?
That's awesome.
This is One America News. There we go.
Wow.
Nice.
So I mean, like, look, we joke, and everyone on the left, even fucking progressives. Let me just say, progressives are liberals. They're not leftists. They're centrists. But even progressives are like, all this Antifa, George Soros, super soldier is bullshit, is nonsense. They get it. But what level, I mean, what level of delusion? Well, they're not delusion at One American News Network. They know that this is bullshit. There's no way. But, like, what level of delusion do you have to try to sell to people that, like, okay, so here's the thing. Here's why I think One American News Network is doing that story, is because Fox News, the owners of Fox News, are positioning themselves to not necessarily just be the Trump network. I think Fox News wants to exist after there's a Trump, right?
Yep.
So they've done some stories that are mildly fucking critical of what he does. They're 99.99% still all in for him, but they've been like, he tweeted a thing that was bad. You know, they'll do that story occasionally, right? But One American News Network is the network that's like, no, he's never tweeted anything that's bad. And the fact that you said
he
that,
tweeted something bad. You're Soros funded Antifas.
exactly, Brad. Exactly. How fucking just am I tripping, fam? That I think that that's like a really significantly fucking poignant thing to look at in terms of the modern version of fascist propaganda. Like, Drew, please, you were about to say. Can I hear from Drew, please?
I think his base is getting to that point where it's like, if it's not just Alex Jones doubt, then it must be fake. You know what I mean? And Fox is just a little too centrist for them at this point.
It's that Nazi, if you disagree, you're the enemy shit.
Exactly. Well, totally. It's like, but they're doubling down. They just seem to be doubling down because they can't, like, handle reality. They can handle less and less of reality, so they need more and more of their fix of Looney Land.
Wow. You know, I can say, and then I do want to hear from you, Rad, but I would say, like, I can kind of relate to that. Like, in the years sort of around the Occupy stuff, I was totally indulging a lot of conspiracy theory stuff and reading a lot of conspiracy theory writers, and, you know, coming off the fucking sort of Art Bell, you know, version of that stuff before it had become the disgusting cesspool that's QAnon and shit, right? And I was down for it. I was like, fuck yeah, tell me the wildest, weirdest shit you can come up with, and I might even consider that it might be true. Like, I was open to it, right? So I would read David Icke or Jim Mars or fucking, you know, watch the early Alex Jones videotapes and the early DVDs and stuff. And but to get to where it's so hard to put it all together to get to the point where you're fucking Fox News is George Soros.
Right.
How many levels of delusion do you have to internalize to get to that place? Like, I don't know.
The Democratic Party, communists. The Republican Party, communists. Anything that's not as fascist as us, communists. Oh no, that wasn't a joke. That's how they think. It's like everybody who's not fascist like us, communists. The enemy.
Yeah.
after
Or something
Communists
like
are the real liberals.
or at least compromised by the evil Soros lizard people. You know,
the hologram lizard grenade catching and throwing back Antifas.
yeah.
I guess it kind of. I guess.
Running around.
Well, it serves the look, the reason. Actually, let me just back up a little bit and state the words Overton window. Overton window. Okay, like the Overton window has shifted so far right, it's Ziegheiling. Okay?
Yep.
That's the center. And now where we have like deep ass fucking douchebag liberals like Peter Coffin and fucking Ben Burgess and shit that are calling themselves leftists and Marxists even, while they spew class reductionist fucking shit and to where like there is a news network that is painting Fox News as being in cahoot with the Antifas. Like,
and BLM.
And BLM.
Antifa / BLM.
BLM Tifas.
The BLM Tifas. Which is all the terrorisms. And it's all Muslim terrorisms that did 9/11. All of it did 9/11. Let's be clear. Right? You know how I know? Because Ilhan Omar literally pulled out her dick and peed on 9/11. She did that. I saw it. It was on Breitbart.
Islam.
Oh my God, some people did something. Fuck.
No one's talking about that either. Somebody did something.
Nobody, literally, if... Here's the thing, actually. I just want to take a moment to point out that I think it's gross that all of you canceled me from this stream. I feel very canceled from this stream. I feel like on this video, you have taken away my right to have things and whatever, and I don't know what it is, even though I'm on it. Look, what I'm getting at is that motherfucker that shit on a fucking indigenous elder gets to go to the RNC and fucking cry about being canceled and then spend a week on Fox News fucking crying about being canceled. And then I really want to hear the critical thought critique comrades' thoughts on this before I say this, but like folks like fucking Ben Burgess that are calling themselves leftists, Peter Coffin that are calling themselves leftists, are also espousing this cancel culture fucking garbage, man.
Cancel culture! You canceled me! You held me accountable! What's wrong with you?
Right.
You mean I'm supposed to know not to say racist and sexist shit? Karen is a slur!
I'm pretty sure that cancel culture isn't real. Like, who's been canceled that is actually canceled? Roseanne Barr?
People on Twitter.
It's about as real as Soros Antifa Inc.
Agreed.
It really seems to exist almost exclusively in a realm of Twitter, of people who are on Twitter. To me, that really like came across to me with that the Native American thing you just brought up that happened in D.C. and even progressives were acting like that people like were too harsh on these kids just because
Right.
like 16 and nobody like it. It seems like if you just look at YouTube, then nobody except maybe for Democracy Now like went and talked to the Native Americans that were there or cared about their side of the story, because everyone was just on Twitter apparently.
Right.
That's what really came across to me.
Another thing I wanted to ask real quick. Does anybody here remember where the term cancel culture originated?
I can tell you where I first heard it, but I still don't know.
Tell me where you first heard it, Aaron.
Huh?
Tell me where you first heard it.
Okay, so I first heard it from full on fucking violent fascists responding to black blocs, me, my comrades, and other people coming out and counter demonstrating against like Proud Boy events and anti-communist events in the Bay Area.
I don't mean the concept of criticizing what they call cancel culture. I mean specifically the term cancel culture.
I'm telling you, this is when I first heard the terms cancel culture.
Okay.
Was in response to that. Them coming out and saying, like, basically roughly in 2016, 2017, in there is when the term cancel culture first sort of came on my radar.
Right.
And it was from full-on fascists saying, hey, how dare you come out and answer my free speech with your free speech? You're canceling me.
I'm talking about people, people complaining about it. Yeah, you're right. That's where it came from. But I'm talking about specifically, does anyone know what the word cancel followed by the word culture specifically refers to?
Hunter,
I'll be honest,
you're muted.
I don't, but the first time I heard cancel culture, it was just straight on the internet like everything else.
No, I heard.
Am I muted now? Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you.
I'll tell everyone where it came from. It came from hashtag cancel Cosby.
Oh.
It refers specifically to people canceling Bill Cosby because it was found out that he was a fucking rapist.
Okay, actually, you know what? Now that you say that, Rad, I'm gonna say this: that you're close to right. I actually remember. Well, I don't remember, but I have since gone down some rabbit holes, and I now remember what my research showed. That this term cancel culture comes out of sort of quote unquote black Twitter. And it's basically like you fucked up and like you shit on the community and you're canceled. It was like
that's exactly what I wanted to get at as well though. Is like then it was the black community taking out their own trash that was Bill Cosby. So think about what people are complaining about when they whine about cancel culture. It's black people holding a rapist that was popular in the black community accountable. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, word.
Did people pay attention to how much Larry Wilmore trashed Bill Cosby after that came out? Like pretty brutal. And you know that Bill Cosby was one of Larry Wilmore's personal heroes or whatever. But it's, people who loved Bill Cosby, especially black people who loved Bill Cosby before that, they did not give him one single inch. They let him fucking have it. And they demonstrated exactly how you hold your own accountable. So apparently white people just seem to really have a problem with it, because then it's like, they don't know how to hold each other and their own accountable. That's what I saw out of it, at least. It's like them feeling uncomfortable with accountability when it's like, no, if you're promoting, if you're going to do something like sexually assault women, we don't care if it comes out 20 years later, 30 years later, 40 years later. We're coming for your ass. As you should. So that's
And
Cancel culture?
and really, it just means, hey, yo, your shit's inappropriate. You're being the fuck out of line. And really, I think it means either until you get your shit in check, fuck the fuck off.
Yeah.
Canceled, and you're not canceled. You still exist. You could still go on to be a huge fucking scumbag asshole. It's just a statement of, oh, I have now recognized that you suck as a person, and I am no longer gonna give you fucking oxygen in my space. Fuck off.
Yeah,
Fuck off.
that's right.
You know, I mean, and it's not, and I don't believe, I would like to believe that the left is willing to recognize that at some point, you might pull your fucking shit out of your ass and come back and bring something relevant and have gotten your shit in perspective. And if you can properly prove yourself at that time, well, we'll remove the cancel. But in the end, I just want to say this, because I want to say this a lot. We're all canceled. We are not members of the petite bourgeois or the elite bourgeois. We are the workers, we are the poor, we are the working class. We are already canceled. All of us, man. I mean, and that.
But also think about how people are complaining about being canceled. Like, what's being done to them? Like, they're just having their platforms taken away. You want to talk cancel culture? You go look at the Maoists in the Philippines and India, who, when they find a rapist, they will kill the rapist, burn their fucking house down, expropriate, loot everything, and give it away to working women. You want to talk cancel culture? All that's happening to you is that you are being held slightly accountable, and you might not make as much money anymore. Go fuck yourself.
Word.
Seriously.
Word. Hey, you know what, fam? I think what I want to do real quick is play a video, and then and it gives us all the opportunity to take care of whatever things that our bodies might need to do in the moment, and whatever we might need to add to our heads, and then we can come back and maybe chat some more. How does that sound, fam?
Good.
Cool.
Sounds great.
It wasn't your typical Halloween party. Police arrested 4 satanic cults. Instead of the usual tricks and treats, police confiscated drugs, liquor, and weapons, including pipe
Joe,
bombs.
we're trying to figure that out. Police say at least 550 people were packed inside this warehouse behind me here at Ridge and Green Street when they raided the place early Sunday morning, but they say only a few of them seem to have some kind of tie to a cult. Now, some of the people who attended the party say police are blowing an elaborate masquerade party way out of proportion. Authorities are trying to get to the bottom of what was really going on here.
Very disturbing. Our inspectors were somewhat surprised at what they saw, and so were the police officers there. We never expected to find that type of atmosphere.
The bomb squad carried off 2 pipe bombs. Detectives collected 2 assault rifles, 2 samurai swords, a machete, and lots of heavy-duty ammo.
It's satanic. There's no doubt in my mind it's satanic.
L&I inspectors and police detectives say they had been watching hundreds of young people going in and out of the old warehouse for months.
The crowd turned on him, and the disc jockey was one of the people arrested, and he actually said,
There's 30 of us to one of them, to the crowd, and says, kill him. At that time, we hear fireworks going off, bottles started to be thrown, and a gentleman in the crowd picks up a Roman candle firework and fires it at myself and the police department.
4 people were arrested on charges that include causing a catastrophe. Police say the ringleader was 30 charged with riot, aggravated assault, and more. L&I inspectors say the place was a death trap. The electricity illegally rigged, loose wires, no fire safety system at all. Police say liquor and drugs were sold along with balloons filled with nitrous oxide, helium used to sustain a high.
I mean, we don't know what happened. I was shot.
Now, police are trying to find out who those weapons, the guns and the bombs belong to and what they were planning to do with them. They're also trying to find out if there's anything to they claim. We killed children.
Hey fam, we're back. We're listening to Suicide. Again, we're listening to this Punk Legends album. But yeah, this is Suicide Ghostwriter. 1970 fucking 6, yo. This is the beginning of electronic music right here. I mean, fucking straight up. But fuck all that noise. I am here hanging out with a bunch of cool-ass motherfucking people from Punks for Progress. I always go to the wrong box. They're over here somewhere. That's where they're at. There's the P4P Indiana people. There's Drew and Kami Rob. Before we get into the next topic, Hunter, can you talk a little bit about this website thing we got happening?
Oh yeah, we have a blog spot. On the website we're gonna post we basically post our YouTube library there. So every time something original comes out on the YouTube, it goes to the website as well. In case you don't want to go to YouTube to do all that kind of stuff. Also on the website, I don't know when, but they'll most likely soon be written articles and stuff. And on sorry. Okay, so the website. What's the website called?
I think it's called cheapcheeseburgers.compusers./ go to not Punks for Progress. I think is that what it is?
GeoCities. It's okay. So the website is under the name punksforprogress.blogspot.com. Pretty easy to go to. We have a cool background.
/Yahoo/Angelfire/tripod.
Rad, can I just say you look so much better in that framing with the yellow walls and the arced window behind you than you do hanging out on your fucking stoner pillow.
I'm moving my phone. I'm sitting up right now.
But on the topic of cool websites and a website even better than ours, take it away, Drew and Rob.
Well, you can also go to our .blogspot, which is http://www something critical thought critique.blogspot /
GeoCities
George Strait
/members.aol.geocities.angelfire.
Yeah, critical thought critique blogspot.
If you just DuckDuckGo critical thought critique, you will probably find our blogspot.
Yeah.
Cool. So look, we are going to talk a little bit about the DIY docuseries I've been working on, People's History of America. But look, man, before the work camps gave way to death camps, Joseph Mengele was already doing weird ass fucking tests on people that had been gaffled up by the Nazis. And I think forced hysterectomies falls under the fucking Joseph Mengele category. I mean, am I tripping, fam? But
I don't know. No, you're not.
I mean, that's some real shit. Are we gonna vote out? Really? Like Biden's gonna come in and end the forced hysterectomies and at the fucking border industrial complex that Obama created? That Trump couldn't do all
the
this
detention
shit.
center they were doing this at is owned by the prison industrial complex. You really think that they're gonna that they're gonna cave to fucking Joe Biden?
Right.
they're probably paying for Joe Biden's campaign. You think he's going to come after them and start putting those people in jail for doing all this Mangala shit?
Right.
All I'm saying.
The whole, immigration issue started with Obama Biden in office. Yep. I have a personal connection to this because my father was never, he came to this country, he was never a legal citizen in this country. And, he created $1 million company which employed other immigrants and Americans, and he actually helped put people through, whatever they had to go through. He helped pay to legalize the, or I don't want to say legalize, but to make them citizens, get their citizenship.
So he sponsored.
I'm sorry.
So he sponsored them.
He sponsored them, he said?
He sponsored the people. Right. Yeah,
right,
you always need somebody to sponsor you. That's huge.
Yeah. And, they were sponsored by a non-citizen. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, so this holds a personal, anything that has to do with immigrants and immigrant rights and everything, I take personally. So, Dawn Wooten, who comes out, who's a whistleblower, to explain that in Georgia, they're taking women's uteruses. That's insane to me. I mean, it was bad enough that they were in cages in the first place. Then you find out the degree of, horror that they're living in, the conditions they're living in. And now they're removing uteruses. This is insane to me. And if it is not,
Can I say really quickly, Rob, with all due respect, comrade, I'd appreciate not referring to it using ableist language to refer to it, because with all due respect, I love you. It's not insane. It's methodical. It's not detached from reality. It's on purpose, and I just think I'm so sorry to have to cut you off like that, comrade, because I really feel your sentiment, but it's I just have to do the pushback on the ableist language, with all due respect. It's such an extreme level of horrifying, though. I understand why you end up leaning on ableist language like that, but are you feeling me?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally get where you're coming from.
Thank you.
So no problem. That's absolutely fine. I just it's something
fucked up shit.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's fucked up shit.
You hear about, or I spent a long time listening to stories of what they did, what other militaries, what other facilities did in other countries. And you hear this your whole life, well, at least we're not the Philippines, or at least we're not, whatever, Guatemala. But we're there. We're totally there, and we've been there. I mean,
we're the reason places like the Philippines and Guatemala are the way they are.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, absolutely agree. But it's an excuse to say, but it's that country,
Right.
Right. And we. So now, in my mind, this is where I say, no way, no fucking way is this going to happen in my country. It's not in my fucking name. And, and I don't accept this. This is not my country.
You can't.
He is not my president. I can't believe that this is happening. As many things as we've read over the years, stealing women's uteruses, goes beyond anything I can personally comprehend, But yeah, like I said, anything. I mean, I kind of applaud Dawn Wooten for coming out.
Absolutely.
She was.
Absolutely. Yes.
Nurse.
And I feel you, Rob. And let me say, look, can I say?
Exposed is because of whistleblowers. And she risked herself too, so.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, can I say?
Who knows what could have happened to her?
If I might, comrade, call me Rob. I feel that this is a significantly pivotal moment in the evolution of how fascism works. Fascism is not a set timeline. It's not a set belief system. It's not a structured formula for how to create a society. It's a constantly fluctuating and morphing response to the workers that it oppresses and their disposition, and constantly trying to figure out how to further oppress those workers and make them profitable for us, the capitalist imperialists, racist, sexist, homophobe, anti-fucking LGBTQ ruling class, right? Anti-indigenous ruling class. And so ultimately, and they constantly fucking converse amongst each other in this like stew of visceral language that demonizes anyone that disagrees with them. I mean, Fox News is the Antifas now. Fox News is George Soros super soldiers now, because they didn't fully stay in line with the fascist line. And when you ultimately maintain your status quo and your power base on demonizing people totally dishonestly, spurious fucking demonizing, unwarranted and unjustified and totally detached from reality, scapegoating, but it still builds up this mythology that like this evil is coming. And so the instant that you capture anyone, or you can point to someone and go, "You're the thing we've been demonizing," you have so separated yourself from their humanity that you're like, I'm going to rip out your fucking uterus because you shouldn't have babies anymore, because your QAnon told me that you pedophile everything and you did 9/11 and you're a Muslim communist satanic dictator, and so I'm going to rip out your ability to make babies. And you know what? Humanity is going to thank me. I am a hero of God because I just ripped your uterus out of your body.
Right.
And the only reason that you're in a position for me to rip your fucking uterus out of your body is because you were fleeing the carnage that my government wrought on your homeland.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And also, notice that this is right after all this normalization of that stupid fucking right-wing talking point like white babies. What the fuck do people think that means? Like, who's Trump's head of propaganda again? What's his name?
Stephen Miller.
Stephen Miller. That's it. Mr. I'm gonna go around and complain about white babies and egg on the entire internet to start complaining about white babies because everyone's racist as fuck. Yeah, him.
Yeah, that was Stephen Himmler, right?
Yeah. That's good. Stephen Himmler.
Stephen Goebbels Himmler.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, you know what I have in response to that, and the kick I've been on is your leftist organization also a default gun club? Because if it isn't, I think you're just fucking circle jerking about new ideas and theories and whatever. Because it's real. People are crossing state lines to shoot BLM people and to shoot the Antifas, and they're doing it. And they're running them over with their cars all over the fucking place. And
and get this.
well, let me just say this, Rad, and I promise I'll let you go, is that I just think that we don't need to be organizing in militias. I think the leftist needs a proper fucking army. And I think we need to start seeing that as our organizing goals. Let's not just, fuck the militias. The militias were slave patrols. Let's get real.
Yep.
The beginning of this country, the militia is a slave patrol. I don't want no one on the left should be forming militias. We should be forming a fucking standing army in self-defense against rampant abusive violence from global fascism. We need to defend ourselves, and let's not play the game that these fucking white ass fucking Darwinian reject fucking monkeys that ran around in the dirt and built silos in the ground and filled them with food for under the Clinton administration and shit for years. Like, let's not associate ourselves with them. Let's build a real standing army on the left. If you're in an organization and you're in a party, if you're in a any type of revolutionary org or cadre party or organization or anti-capitalist organization, and you're not a felon that will get in trouble for owning guns, please organize as an army and let's do this. Like, let's just start making that the goal. Am I onto something, fam, or am I being paranoid? Like, go ahead, Rad.
I mean, like, if you take into account the fact that not only are they going around shooting people and getting away with it, as we saw a fucking 17-year-old going across state lines with the specific plan, as we saw in his social media, to kill Antifa, to bring violence upon Antifa and Black Lives Matter. We saw that, and his mother drove him across state lines with a firearm. He ended up killing 4 people. And then not only that, but if one of them tries to kill you with some pepper spray so that you can't see right before they stab you, a fucking squad of 20 pigs is going to kick your door down and just shoot you in the head before you can even do anything.
Yeah, let's
like,
be real clear.
If
someone can help me remember the comrade's name, but
Michael Reinell.
Yeah, a scumbag, fucking violent right-wing death cult terrorist member came at him after a day of terrorizing and beating and bringing violence to fucking peaceful protesters. Came and brought violence and weapons against this person, and in self-defense shot them, and unfortunately that piece of shit died. But then Trump sent out his federal forces to murder the person that did nothing but defend themselves, was murdered by this state. We need standing
Keep in mind
armies.
that the guy who maced him from the side and also happened to have a knife and a gun on him. The guy just walked up and maced him from the side, happened to have a knife and a gun on him. What the fuck are you gonna do? It's like, you know that they're a fascist trying to kill you, and they just did that, and you know they're armed.
If I may go
Why
on
does self-defense exist?
a small tangent real quick.
Please do, Kami Rob.
We had another time in our country like this. If one of you can remind me, when was it that there was like a national convention where all of the American Nazis, in the 30s, or 20s or 30s, all of them were together. They had this giant convention. At the same time, anarchists, communists, socialists, union workers, everyday average people, homeless people. They banded together, they organized, and they fought for things they needed. They pushed the government to do what needed to be done. The New Deal, at the time, Social Security, retirement. Fascism was rising here, and the people got together and pushed back. And the president was forced to adapt to what the people needed. We're facing.
Well, kind of. To be fair, he didn't fully adapt.
Right, you're right.
He's still here.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's also the same president that claimed to his grave that his biggest accomplishment was saving capitalism.
Right. True. But we're in the same situation. The number of jobless now, soon to be the number of, homeless now, is almost equivalent to the beginning of the Great Depression. We're almost there. Now.
There.
I think we are there, Rob. I think we actually, I think we've probably even surpassed it. It's like,
yeah, seriously.
It's so it like. I would say even surpassed it in significant numbers. We are literally all, to some degree, from one degree to another, the frog in the boiling pot, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that people back in the Great Depression, I don't think all of them were Henry Ford that got in the truck and did Grapes of Wrath and moved out. Like, I don't think people when there were different degrees of people within American society that were experiencing different levels of it, right? Now that we look back, we realize we can look back through the lens of history and realize and hear the voices of those that were most oppressed at the time. And so now we may look through their voice, we may look through the lens of their voices more so than people contemporary to them did. Does that make sense? We're like, now I think we're at a far more extreme level of depression, but we have TVs and microwaves and refrigerators
and credit
in our soup lines.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, it looks different. We don't have tattered fucking fedora hats with a smashed brim and the same tattered brown suit that we go down to the dock every day to try. It's not the same. Like, this is, again, where, like, why dialectical materialism is so fucking important, right? Because the contemporary conditions under fascism in 2020 are not the same as they were in the Depression. But it's so important, and thank you, Kami Rob, for bringing up the comparison to the Depression era, right? I mean, I guess my pushback really started with, no, Rob, you were trying to say maybe it's not as bad. I'm thinking it's probably worse, especially on a per capita level. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. So right now, I think there's a slight issue with organizing. Black Lives Matter is out. Too many black people are being murdered by these cops, and it's already people are coming out in the street. They want to get rid of the police. We don't need police. We're owned by, all these other things that the police are protecting. But we have, look, the West is on fire, the South is flooding, women are having their uteruses stolen, immigrants are in cages. You can't even list off how many problems there are that are major, let alone the small problems that we face in this country. But it's a perfect time. It's a perfect time, and I know that we have, everybody has differences and stuff, but really, these demands can come out in mass, and we can force a president at this point. I do not like Biden. I do not believe that he is an answer to anything. But what about no health care? No Biden. What about, no changes in cop issues? No Biden. We have to get rid of this, like the fascist tendencies of Trump. That's got to go. And I only see, I only see a slight out with Biden. And I don't by any means support Biden. I just support policy. And his policies are slightly better than Trump's. I mean, he actually.
So I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that, Commie Rob. But what I'm going to say on that is, and hopefully this allows us to avoid completely the vote or don't vote discussion, is Biden just isn't going to win. That's my take. Like, I really feel like what he will bring or what he won't bring kind of doesn't matter, because I'm all in. He doesn't have a chance.
It's going to be really, really, really difficult for him to win after his party completely shot down people's actual platform.
I agree.
Within the context of that party, I mean.
And I'll also say this. Maybe this is a little more revealing than I should probably be, but I don't actually pay my bills from George Soros. I actually pay my bills from right-wing sources. I do phone surveys for a living. That's what I do. And if the only people that have the money to fund fucking mass nationwide phone surveys are the right wing. So that's unsub me if you want, but the way I fund my ability to fucking have a place to live is I say right wing lies. I call people and tell them right wing bullshit lies. And let me tell you this. I call people all over the country all day, and the vast majority of them are voting for Trump.
Yeah.
One of the very first questions I ask people, and it doesn't matter what the survey is, there's all kinds of different surveys. They always start out, are you voting for Trump? Are you voting for Biden? How much do you support Trump? How much do you support Biden?
Scale of 1 to 10 or whatever.
People are all in for Trump, dude. He's going to win. He's going to win. I have called so many fucking states and so many different demographics. And let me tell you this, the people who do say they're voting for Biden categorize themselves as at best moderate, but more often than not conservative.
Yep.
Shit, you know.
Yep.
Rarely do I ever call someone that says I'm a liberal. And let's be clear, no one on this stream or in this video, it's not a stream, it's a pre-recorded video, but no one here is a liberal. Fuck liberals. I think everybody here is in unison in saying liberals are not our comrades, they're not our allies, and they're not our fucking friends.
Correct.
We are leftists. We are revolutionaries. We are anti-capitalists. But the people I'm calling all over the country, even if they're not voting for Trump, which I'm telling you, fam, 8 out of 10 people that don't hang up when they find out it's a survey are voting for Trump.
Yep.
And the ones that aren't, that are going to go Biden, they're categorizing themselves as conservative. And I'll tell you what, the vast majority of them do not support defund the police. Even if they say that they really super support Black Lives Matter, they almost universally, at best, have a tacit support for defund the police. Trump
Think
is going
about
to
this,
win.
though, Aaron. Think about this, though. Think about this. It's like, think about what demographic of people will actually pick up the phone when you call them.
Right.
Or have landlines.
Okay, so I want to. Okay, so that's a good point, Rad, and let me retort by saying
the people
this.
You're calling are probably just in the older
They're not just
demographic that
landlines.
still talks on the phone.
They're not just landlines. Rad, I talked
No,
to.
but who pick up their cell phones? I mean, when people call, I don't pick up my cell phone when people call me.
Okay, I guess it's anecdotal, but
yeah,
but it's not. I mean, I'm calling people from all over the state and asking them very specific questions. I mean,
the demographic of voters, I'll give you that.
Yeah, there's also that. So it's hard to tell. I mean, it's hard
I just think he's going to win, and that's what brings me to that was my long-winded retort to.
Well, I think he's going to win too.
To where I don't like, I'm not gonna I would much rather have a beer with Joe Biden than Donald Trump, and that's the extent of it. I still think he's a racist scumbag. I get what you're saying, Rob, and if the chasm between them was broader, I think it might have had an impact on the electorate. My forecast is that there was no chasm. There was a sliver of difference between them. And yes, it exists. I agree that it exists. Biden walking into the room doesn't make me want to barf and smash things. Trump does. I have Trump derangement syndrome. Okay? I fuck it. Whatever. Come at me, patriots. Gaslight me. I have full on Trump derangement syndrome. That guy is such a disgusting fucking scumbag that dude, his face is enough to make me get up and physically start fucking pointing at the wall and yelling and shit. That's real. That's real.
Yeah.
And I'm not ashamed of it because it is so disgusting that any response short of that is, what the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, you're a brainwashed scumbag fucking death cult fascist terrorist piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
The only people who like Trump right now, are the death cult fascist terrorist pieces of shit. That's the only people.
Right.
There's no other kinds of people that support Donald Trump. The people that are at least okay with those four things I just said, that Aaron just said.
Yeah.
All of them.
No, I actually don't disagree with you, but I don't want to stop fighting.
No, we don't stop farting. No. Actually, I just sort of Freudianly said farting.
Did you stop farting?
No, we definitely do not stop farting. But we don't stop fighting, Commie Rob. And here's the thing: is we refocus we refocus the focus of our fight. The fight is joining an anti-capitalist, revolutionary, leftist organization. If you're not an ex-felon that will be put in prison for ex-felon in possession of a firearm, you need to be organizing with your comrades with a firearm and in firearm use and in military tactics and usage of not offensive military tactics, but proper defensive military tactics. It is not about voting. This is real. These motherfuckers are hot and have huge heterosexual fucking heaving boners for murdering literally anyone that Trump tells him it's okay to murder, which is black people, gay people, trans people, brown people, indigenous people, anyone
who supports those people.
Anyone who supports those people. Anyone who supports Nancy Pelosi. Anyone who wears a mask in public is a target. Is Antifa terrorist pedophile. QAnon has exposed you. If you wear a mask, you're a pedophile from Antifa BLM terrorism for Satan. Muslims. That's you.
That's what they're saying.
Right.
And if you disagree with any of that, if you're against any of that, you're now a terrorist.
Right.
Right.
So I'm going to say this, and then I think we should probably start wrapping this up, is I've been working on this series called A People's History of America.
America.
I have 9 episodes done. I think the only person on this chat with us right now that's watched all of them is Rad. Is that right?
Yeah.
I watched most of them.
Drew, you've watched most of them, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you seeing how the series is relevant to like sort of trying to describe how we got here today? Like,
absolutely.
Go ahead, Drew. I would love to hear your thoughts on what you've seen so far.
Absolutely. I think it was fantastic. I love the detail you kind of went into within the Reagan Bush years, and I felt like the only critique I had thought of was it felt like there was you kind of may have left out the whole debate as far as why boomers are so privileged, whether it was because of the New Deal or because of the war, and that's a whole thing that sort of plays into a lot of the gradual like evolution of the right wing Cold War brainwashing that people are still under.
Oh, word! No, I appreciate that. You know, I'll tell you, it's like.
Oh, I'm sorry, you can get crammed into 4 hours though.
Yeah. Once I get all the episodes up and then make them all public, and everyone in the fam sort of has an opportunity to watch them. I really want to do a video where we sort of go through blocks of the episodes and sort of talk about them. But what I think I've already thought about that. Like, I think what's going to come out most in a lot of those conversations is all the stuff I didn't touch on. Right?
Exactly.
Like, there's so much. It's. And I think that really what I tried to focus on most was, let's be real, the black struggle. Okay, like, look, I've done 9 episodes about the history of America and the people struggle, and I haven't even said Stonewall once yet. And I probably will finish the series without having said it. And like, it's hard, man. Like, I've mentioned the LGBTQ struggle and trans struggle and gay struggle and stuff, but like, I haven't focused on it. And I think my justification for that is that this really is through the lens, I think, of primarily the black struggle in America. That's where I really tried to focus, because that's the first and foremost primary focus of the slave patrols from the beginning of the country to today is first and foremost, it's about oppressing black people. That doesn't mean that they aren't super stoked to oppress a white trans person.
Right. See, I'm going to critical thought critique you for a second. So, what actually what came to you to want to do this?
So it started with I'm not saying the kid's name, but it started when the 17-year-old kid drove across state lines to murder BLM activists, and then
like, how do we
did it. And like, I started seeing a bunch of headlines and stories from people who were like, this is insane. This is crazy. This makes no sense. And I'm going, no, it's not. It's not insane. It's not crazy, and it makes absolute sense. I totally 100% get why this kid went and did this. Like,
Right.
you're stupid to think that this kid didn't go and do this, and to think that this isn't going to happen again. This is methodical. There's a long history that has built up, and an infrastructure, and even a cultish mythology that's built up over time that created. How did this kid not happen? Why is there not more of this motherfucker? Guess what? There's about to be a lot more of them. But that was the genesis, Kami Rob. Was how do we get there? Because I think people really don't get it. They're like, they get that it's bad. They get that this is awful and horrible, right? But they're like 10 degrees of separation from where they are to understanding how that kid did what he did. So they'll end up leaning on, well, he's probably got mental issues or whatever. And then even when you look at the QAnon conspiracy, it looks so batshit as fuck, but it's not. It's a clear culmination of a lot of years and decades of well-crafted, just a puzzle, a piece of built upon piece that leads to this moment. Everyone has always said that Trump isn't the problem. Trump is the culmination of the problem.
Right.
That's also true of the sort of narratives and mythology that his followers that support him, how they have come to so buy into being full-on members of a far-right terrorist death cult that's sole purpose is to support and bolster the mechanism of Western imperialist fucking status quo of death, destruction, and violence, right? I mean,
So what I'm hearing from you is the Pilgrims didn't sit down with the natives and have their turkey.
As it turns out, that may have happened at some point. I imagine that some indigenous people sat down with some
at some point.
Yeah, and had food. But what really happened was they were like, "Hi, welcome to the land." Look, like these people didn't even for the most part, had any concept of land ownership. They were like, "You are a living creature in the universe, and I share this space with you. Let's commune and understand each other." And Americans were like, well, Americans, but the honkies from fucking Europe were like, "Wait, you don't have a twisted fucking understanding of Jesus? I must destroy you now and take everything. Oh, and it's also justification for me to take everything from you."
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
Shan just joined us.
And
Hi, Shan. Welcome. Hi. We're really kind of wrapping up, but I'm really glad you joined us.
I have no control over what the neighbor does to his truck and when he does it, unfortunately.
Your neighbor? Yeah, fucking asshole.
I think Ben Shapiro has something to say.
Yeah, so Hunter has words that I would much appreciate hearing.
All right, let's hear this.
I, as Ben Shapiro, disapprove of Punks for Progress, and I don't endorse the People's History of America.
There it is. Wait, one more time. One more time, because this is can I say before you play it, though, Hunter? I can't believe that you found that soundbite. It's so important, though, because...
Yeah, it's so important.
It's really an urgent warning that you really should not pay attention to us and don't ever watch the People's History of America, because what did Ben Shapiro say?
He said,
I, as Ben Shapiro, disapprove of Punks for Progress, and I don't endorse the People's History of America.
How did you do that?
He's they're friends now.
That's
Indeed.
a really, like, old man voice. He's not very old,
Ben
right?
Shapiro has an old man's voice.
He does. Like, you know?
He's a crotchety old man, and he's only what, in his early 30s?
I mean, I've had a man's voice since I was a mannish. I don't know what you want to call it. I've had a deep voice for a long time, and people have teased me about it, but I don't know. Does it sound old?
Hey, you know what, Shan? Since you're here, we were talking about just like Ben Shapiro, we were talking about the People's History of America series, and you said you've watched what, like the first 4 or 5 episodes? Is that what you said?
The first 5.
Okay, and I should say for those that are watching, none of these episodes are public. If you're tech savvy and you know how to find playlists, you can watch the 9 episodes that are up right now. I would suggest waiting for the final episodes to be put up and then binge them all like Netflix style on a weekend. But anyway, I digress. Shan, you've watched the first 4 episodes or so, and so what were your thoughts? What was your takeaway on the series?
Well, it's been 2 weeks, and you're expecting me to remember. Well, I'm trying to remember. No, what stuck out at me, and I don't know what episode it is, was when you put all the struggles together. So it had to be this last one or second to the last episode. I'm gonna call. Sorry. What's her name? Phyllis
Schlafly.
Feebly.
Phyllis Schlafly. Yeah.
Feebly. I'm sorry. I have a tickle on my throat and it won't go away. Anyway, it reminded me of that, and now I forgot my talking point because the itch won't go away in my
You were
throat.
saying how I understand what you're talking about. There's like I put
in
up
the 70s.
Phyllis Schlafly, but connecting her to like Ann Coulter and Gun Girl, Poop Pants, Gun Girl, and right? Is that what you're?
Right, because like she wasn't the only one, right? There was Anita Bryant. I mean,
yes.
I didn't know who Phyllis was, but I remember Anita Bryant as a kid because she was the Florida orange juice person. She was all over the damn TV. And then she was all over the TV because of what her bigotry was. And it really is aligned with what exactly is going on right now. It's the same shit. It's just different names or kind of different names or... You know what I'm saying?
Yes, definitely. And that was...
Like the alt-right isn't just the KKK
so,
anymore.
Shan, you're thankfully your point did, I think, get across, but your audio is really fucked. So just let me sort of respond.
I don't know what happened. You're going keep.
Yeah, can you mute for a second? Let me see if it fixes it. Hello.
It was fine.
Check. Yeah, there's something up with your audio. But no, I heard your point. So please stay muted.
And it was fine.
Yeah, but it's not.
Now
okay.
It's good.
Okay. Yeah, so in that moment, I should clarify for people watching. Phyllis Schlafly.
It was father.
Phyllis Schlafly was she really built her career on coming out hard against the Equal Rights Amendment, right? and she is really sort of, in a lot of ways, the birth of the, white, suburban, privileged woman that's coming out against all the quote unquote feminazis. She is the very first poopy pants gun girl. She's the very, very first Tommy Lauren. She's the first Ann Coulter.
A feminist, though. But her feminism was women not changing, basically, staying at home. The right to vote, of course, but not,
And let's be clear, the Equal Rights Amendment was really, really simple, and I cover, this is why we're talking about it, and I show the actual language of it in the People's History of America, which Ben Shapiro does not endorse, series. But it's basically, none of your rights shall be abridged based on your sex. Like, that's it. Like, it's really simple. And then Phyllis Schlafly comes out and she's like, they're going to force you to join the military and fight wars and shit. Like,
that was her big thing.
And it's like,
Brian's big thing was that we were going to teach homosexuality in schools.
Right.
Teachers. Gay teachers are going to teach your kids to be gay.
Thank you, Shan, because it was totally tied up in the anti-gay agenda. Deeply entrenched in the anti-gay agenda.
Yep.
So it was the same characters back then that there is now. It's the same shit show.
Right. Well, except for it progresses and gets more intense. Like, it becomes more and more destructive and more effective in its destruction as it comes along, right? And but it's important to understand that none of these figures come out of a vacuum. That's the thing. Another theme all throughout the series is that, okay, here's this thing you're seeing in 1950 or 1970 or the 1990 or the 2000, and here's the modern equivalent of that. I really tried to show that, the reason I'm showing you that the John Birch Society is saying this is because One American News Network is now saying it in a much more intense way. I mean, the anti-communist fucking delusion is to the point where One American News Network is coming out and saying that Fox News is George Soros Antifa now. Right?
Because they criticized Trump once.
Right.
It may be worse now in that stuff. I don't think people were quite as gullible back then.
Right. Good point, Chan.
But there were things that were acceptable back then that aren't acceptable now. Not in the open. You know what I mean?
No, exactly right, Chan. And
she met with this is where the land of fruit and nuts comes from, I think. She met with Reagan, and that was her big thing. Of course, the land of fruit and nuts, San Francisco is what she's talking about, because this is the 70s. So, yeah, and it was at some fundraiser for Reagan, and he kisses her on the cheek, and she just...
Well, and that's what I would say is thank you for that, Chan.
In there like Phyllis did. However, Phyllis was involved because of her husband. I believe her husband was involved in politics, wasn't he?
Was he a lawyer who funded her. But here's the thing. Here's what I think was so crucial in what you said, and I'm sorry to perpetually be trying to cut you off while you were saying it, but it's that no, they could. A Tommy Lauren or a poop pants gun girl could not exist in the late 70s, early 80s. They had to chip away at piece by piece to create the gaping chasm of shit that allows for, Candace Owens to come in now and
Right.
right, and
It's the conditioning, because back
Multiple
then,
generations, absolutely.
Kent State, that was horrific for everyone. That was it. Now cops shoot people with shit all the time, and people are like, run them over. What the fuck, you know? Back then it was just KKK people saying shit like that. It wasn't like everybody on the right, you know?
Right.
Shit, some people, you know, in the middle are like, well, you shouldn't be in the street protesting. It's like, what planet? I actually saw this shit when I was a little kid. It was all that was on TV. So it's like, that's what protesting was to me. Like, when people started, I'm like, what the fuck are these people talking about? I don't understand what is not protesting in the street. When you protest, you're usually in the street. I've never really seen it any different. But I guess it's a disconnect. There's some distance between the 70s, when it literally, like, there was shit going on every weekend, all the time, whether it was women's rights. They just said gay rights back then, but you know, there was something. There was always something.
well, look, fam, I think I'm so happy you jumped on the end to here, Shannon. We got to hear from you. Really appreciate you showing up and saying hi. But I think we've sort of exhausted. We've been at this for quite a while now.
Father Fury and I have no clue what you're talking about, but that's okay.
Father Fury is here?
Yes.
Holy shit. Father Fury.
Just got here.
Father Fury, say hello. Hold on. Where's Father Fury? You're muted.
Word up.
There's Father Fury. Okay, so look. Yeah, I'm so glad you're here too. So look, before we get out of here. Oh shit, we have really bad audio issues with you. So mute for a second. But you have a show you're doing on our channel now. People aren't as familiar with you. Holy fuck, I'm so stoked that you hang out with us and are a part of the fam right now. Like, for real. Look at his face and how cool it looks right now. So say hello to Father Fury. And Father Fury, go ahead and unmute and say hello and tell us, do you have a new... Okay, so look, the premiere episode of the Father Fury show is up. Are you working on a new episode, or are you just smoking pot?
We are working on a new episode. I am desperately trying to get this thing lit. It's not quite working out at the moment, but yeah. How is everybody?
Fantastic.
Good. Good.
So, you know what I'm going to do, Father Fury? I'm actually going to jump off camera. I'm going to really totally put you on the spot.
Okay.
You live in Georgia.
I do.
You're a leftist. You're a fucking punk rocker.
Yes.
And you're doing a show for Punks for Progress.
Yes.
Talk about what the show is and what you hope to do with it. And then I am going to go take care of one form of business that was facilitated by the second form of business I need to commit, which is getting another beer, which will contribute to me having to commit to first form of business again another time. So,
understood.
Talk to us. What's going on with the Father Fury show? What's coming up with the Father Fury show? What's it all about? Talk to us.
Well, Steph is here, working on jewelry. My better half. So, yeah, just coming up with some different ideas. You know, there's never a dull moment with discussing world events and topics with the shit show that we have as our current politic at the moment. I think probably the next thing we're going to focus on is the actual eugenics that's going down at one of the ICE facilities here in my home state of Georgia. So we're definitely going to talk about that. we're going to talk about the hypocrisy of the right with pro-life, and then they're silent about the forced hysterectomies, and also discuss that these aren't just people that
white babies.
yeah, right. So
Fuck you, Stephen Miller.
yeah, they're pro-conception and pro fetus. Once the child comes out, then get a job. So,
Fuck you, kid.
Be white.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, well, we're definitely gonna fight about that and discuss that.
Real quick.
Maybe yes.
Is everybody muted?
I'm not muted.
I just hear a real heavy echo.
Yeah, so do I. Somebody.
I just hear the echo from everybody.
It's coming from Father Fury's mic.
Did that stop?
I can see who's like what noise comes from where because it like highlights like it highlights the picture.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, so where is it from?
Okay, so look, did Father
Coming
Fury
from
say
the
things,
Father.
and did people have a feel for who the fuck Father Fury is now? Because I just had to go fucking take a piss and get a beer, and I didn't pay attention to any of it.
Go take a piss and get your fucking beer.
All right. Do you feel welcome, you fucking galoop?
Where'd he go?
Huh? You feel like you're in the fam now, you fuck? All right, good.
You fuck.
Oh, very much. Very much. I appreciate it.
Well, I can't wait to go back and hear what the fuck you said about me, because I know you were just talking shit the whole time when I was not on the fucking thing.
Oh, absolutely.
When you got off, the sound started going crazy.
I
actually stopped.
No, it didn't. You're just being an asshole because you want to see me have a fucking meltdown again. That's fine. Well, listen, no, we really are at the end of it. I have so much love and respect for all of you, fam. I'm really, really happy Shan and Father Fury and Steph were able to get on here at the end. And but I'm sorry we don't have more time to sort of hang out with you, but it really is time to sort of wrap it up. But one of the things that we accomplished today is we got a bunch of the different fam on. We got a bunch of audio stuff figured out. I know this isn't the most supreme, greatest audio experience ever, but I think the viewer could hear us all, and things were articulated well. And how fun was this? Fam.
Yeah.
I just think it's such a real honor to be a part of this thing called Punks for Progress, even though it's just some dumb name that me and my uncle came up with a few years ago. But now it's got all these really righteous, wonderful people that I really love, respect, and adore that are a part of it. And it's been a real honor to be able to share our conversation with you all. Thanks, P4P Fam.
Hey, we ain't dead yet.
Likewise. Sorry I'm late to the party.
Well, I'm gonna move the camera where no one can see you fucking assholes anymore.
All right, asshole.
And I actually am now plugging for Miller High Life. I'm not. But fam, thank you so much for hanging out. This has been the What
Communism will
Report.
win. Hopefully more than the Raiders.
Oh yeah, look at that shirt.
Oh, should I show him the shirt? There it is.
I like it.
Yeah, so you can get that at the One People's Project, Daryl Lamont Jenkins, Goodnight White Pride, that's Icelandic runes. You know, anyway, much love to everyone at P4P. Much love to you for watching. Much love. thanks and respect to anybody and everybody who does whatever they can to get off their ass and get out there and try to make life a little bit better for other fucking people. Thanks for watching. I'm Reverend Aaron. This is Punks for Progress, and this has been the What the Fuck Report. We'll see you next time.
All power to the people.